Hey everyone, this is LJ from KBX. So, anyways, just got off of work and I thought I'd share something with you guys, um, sort of to help you out and also just to create a new thing up for my channel, some new content. So, anyways, one thing I want to talk about is sobriety. So, a lot of you are probably trying to get sober, have gotten sober, or never consider the prospect, whatever the case may be. Um, I wanted to let you know that if you needed someone to talk to, then you can contact me. You can send a comment on this video. You can email kbxband@gmail.com or just, Facebook Messenger, whatever you think is appropriate, whatever you need. Because this is something that is serious and it's helped me out, and I think it can help you out too. So, uh, the reason I'm making this video is also to make sure that you guys have something to talk about, or someone to talk to, rather, when it comes to this topic. There's probably a million other people you could talk to about it regarding sobriety and triggers and all that stuff, but I want to share my personal experiences so maybe you guys would relate to it and discuss it. I think that it's one of the most important things to conquer, and one of the most important in your life. One of the things I wanted to talk about was triggers. Now, this can be a craving for a substance. It can be nicotine, it can be drugs, it can be alcohol. Um, but it always happens whenever you're around something that you're familiarizing or you've connected those two with. For example, I used to play video games and listen to a certain album end to end all the time, and I would always associate listening to that album with playing that game. That's a simple, innocent enough correlation to make. But the thing is, like, it would also be like, for example, uh, I had gotten a PS3 shortly after I got sober in August 28th, 2018, and one of the games that I got for it was Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I still have, and I still have that same PS3 also. So I always was like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna get down some Call of Duty. Went ahead and popped it in. This is a game me and my friends, mind you, we used to always play. We used to always drink. There'd always be alcohol involved, usually rum or something like that. And I've blacked out more than enough times waiting for a multiplayer thing to start up. But anyways, so this is about a month or two after I decided to get sober, and I plug in the PS3, pop in the game, and after playing multiplayer for about 3 or 4 minutes, start smelling, tasting, and all I can think about is Southern Comfort. Whiskey, the flavor of whiskey, the smell of it, all that stuff is suddenly coming back to me. It's related. It's relating to the game. It's connected mentally to it. I've mentally tethered alcohol to playing games. I've made that sort of connection, and it's permanent. But I can tell you right now that it doesn't have to be a permanent thing. If you feel like you have too many triggers, then the best thing you can do is relate that object with something else, something possibly as addictive or just something else entirely. Um, Now, whenever I play video games, I don't have anything to drink around me. I just listen to music, or I just turn the volume up on the game itself and just plow through it. Stuff like that. Simple things. There are other triggers too, like there's an energy drink called Highball that I tried one time at Walmart, and there's no alcohol in it whatsoever. It's just a really bitter drink, and it happened to taste like whiskey to me. And I showed it to a coworker of mine. He said it didn't. It was just the bitterness of the energy drink actually reminded me of alcohol. Sometimes whenever I get heartburn, acid reflux, that stuff reminds me of the taste of whenever I used to drink, probably because alcohol would give me acid reflux. So those type of things we associate with drinking and stuff. But anyways, like, quitting is one of those things that I decided to do on my own. Um, Particularly because it was affecting my life. I had started drinking when I was like 18, and it didn't get real bad until 2010, which I was like 22 years old. Sorry, the cats are making a lot of noise. Didn't start drinking real bad until I was 22 years old. And then I kind of chilled out a little bit whenever I was stupid and tried to mix it with painkillers because I had back problems. So, anyways, that was the thing. And then 2016 had this really hellish relationship that ended up with me becoming more of a drunk and less of a creative person. And as 2017 wore on, I drank even more, even though I wasn't as depressed anymore. Um, I was using it as an excuse to be depressed, I guess. So I don't know. It was just one of those things that I associated with pain, and it was like I was trying to heal inside wounds with it or something like that. It's like drinking, rubbing alcohol. But it wasn't the case. It was one of those things where I was used to it because, let me tell you this, I come from a long, strong line of stubborn alcoholics. Um, Genetically, they are hardwired to drink. Not everyone in my family drinks, but like my parents drink. One of my brothers, no, two of my brothers drink. My sister's drinking and on drugs and all sorts of stuff. Um, and people very close to me drank. So all I knew was drinking. And it was one of those things where you get sick of it after a while. And me especially, because I could have lost my job. I had been sent home once for being too drunk on the 4th of July because I was pissed off at my mom and imbibed a little too much, just because I was mad. And I was like, I don't care anymore. And that was the kind of behavior that really, like, it almost got me killed. I don't know how. I don't know how I didn't freaking get a DUI being as stupid as I was. I drove while I was under the influence. My friends would keep my keys from me. But I mean, I would act sober enough to where they, I don't know how I did it, but I would act sober enough to where they would give me my keys back, or I would just take them. And I would drive home, and God, I am so surprised I didn't kill anybody or get a ticket. Like, that's ridiculous. But anyway, enough of that. A lot of my influences for getting sober were my wife, Neva. Um, we got married August 4th. We got married August 4th. Her mother passed away the next day. But before she passed away, her mother had told me. She grabbed me by the collar and she told me, "You take care of her." And I've honored that promise ever since to the best of my ability. And I realized, shortly after she passed away, I was like, I can't do this drunk. I can't drink and take care of a family. I can't do that. There's no way. It has to be one or the other. And so August 28th came around and I told her, I was like, you know what? I told my wife, I was like, this is going to be my last beer ever. She goes, okay. And it wasn't one of those like smart, like, yeah, sure, you start drinking again. No, it was a sincere, I believe in you type of thing. And it inspired me to go forward. And then I tried jamming with people who used to be users who were trying to get clean and stuff like that. And they ended up falling off the wagon, despite my commitment to sobriety. So then it became this roller coaster ride of trying not to drink and then doing it not doing it on my own because I had Neva, but also like wanting to get back to doing what I used to do as good as I used to do it or better. And whenever I got back into doing rock stuff, then, I had the sobriety, but I also had her support. There are a lot of musicians that I realized that are also sober too. James Hetfield from Metallica, Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch. These guys have cleaned themselves up majorly. James Hetfield even went back to rehab in order to stay clean. I don't know if he relapsed or had cravings or whatever the case may be, but James, I appreciate you going back, having the courage to fight those demons. That means a lot to people like me. The thing is, what I'm trying to get to is if you feel like you need help, if you can't do it alone, that's cool. That's perfectly normal. That's natural. If you need someone to talk to, you can comment. You can send me an email. Like I said, kbxband@gmail.com. I will respond to you as soon as I can. We can talk about anything. It doesn't even have to be alcohol related. If you just want to vent and me to listen, I promise you, that's cool. We can do that. It doesn't have to be anything relating to drinking or sobriety or whatever. It can be just to distract you with the topic. It can be to listen to you. That's all I want, is to make sure that you get through this and you achieve the sobriety that you're after. So if you guys want to go ahead and comment in the video below, just let me know what you think. And if you've had any personal experiences you want to tell me about, go ahead and let me know. So thank you very much for listening to me rant about this. Feels good. I want to do this more often. I'm probably going to do a little series of vlogs like this. It's cool, man. I want to get to know you guys. Peace out.